Hi students, hi, welcome back to another episode, video, chapter for you guys. ये स्कोर का नया वीडियो है. हम सबको पता है स्कोर क्या है. It's the largest scholarship examination in India. It's conducted by श्री चैतन्य. सब हमें ऑलरेडी पता है क्योंकि ये नया चैप्टर है. आज हम क्लास 9th के बायोलॉजी के ऊपर कुछ डिस्कशन करेंगे. हमने ऑलरेडी पिछले पार्ट्स में देखा है. वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिसाइड, वी हैव सीन and discussed about all the model papers, model questions of standard 9 biology, and that includes zoology and botany both together in your foundation classes. So today we will be discussing another chapter where we have all the important PYQs, okay, all the important PYQs that are being repeated in your examination. ठीक है. नाउ स्कोर के बारे में थोड़ा और बातें कर लेते हैं. तो स्कोर क्या है? इट्स ऑल इंडिया नेशनल लेवल स्कॉलरशिप एग्जामिनेशन. इट्स कंडक्टेड बाय श्री चैतन्य. क्लास 3 से 12 तक आप ये दे सकते हो. यू कैन शो अप टू दिस एग्जाम. आई नो यू आर इन क्लास 9th. सो हियर वी हैव व्हाई स्कोर. व्हाई शुड यू टेक द स्कोर एग्जामिनेशन? The reason being, you can get 100% scholarship as well from a prestigious educational institute like Sri Chaitanya. इधर से आपको मिल सकता है 100% scholarship, and on top of that you can compete with India's brightest students, the brightest mind of India. क्योंकि यही students, you are going to face the same student आगे जाके in your class 11th and 12th. खास करके after 12th, when you'll be showing up to the national level examinations like JEE, NEET or any other national level competitive exam, these are the same students that you are gonna face, right? So ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है in your foundation years, in your primary years, how you should prepare yourself and where do you actually stand in this entire students league. ऊपर से cash prizes भी है. 2.5 crore rupees of cash prizes is there. Along with that, exciting gadgets like tablets, laptops, mobile phones, what not. And the best gift you can win here is a NASA trip. Yes, hi everyone. So you can win a NASA trip and nationwide recognition after giving this test, and if you do good. तो कब देना है ये टेस्ट सर? ये टेस्ट 2 बार कंडक्ट होगा in 2 phases. Phase 1 will be on 28th of September and phase 2 on 12th of October. So दोनों टेस्ट ही आप दे सकते हो. I recommend you give both the tests because the marks which will be higher, like if you give both the tests, and agar aapko, if you get good marks on the second test, the second test marks will be calculated and you will be granted scholarships even up to 100%, right? तो यही है. करना क्या है? बस go on www.srichaitanyascore.com, go to class 9th tab, check the exam pattern, check the entire syllabus and just register with a nominal fee. That's all you have to do. Okay, show up for these examinations, right? तो आज का हमारा टॉपिक है क्लास 9 के प्रीवियस ईयर स्कोर का क्वेश्चन पेपर. हम देखेंगे, सॉल्व करेंगे, क्यों करना है वो सब डिस्कस कर लेंगे. How to study, how to approach your chapters, how to approach your syllabus, that we are gonna see here. Okay, so why solve previous year's questions? The first point is that to know most important topics, we have to study smart and not unnecessary noise. We have to remove all the unnecessary noise. What you call unnecessary information is not required. We want only the crisp, proper knowledge that is required for giving the examination and score the optimum marks in short and most effective way, right? So smart revision करेंगे, targeted study करेंगे. We have to study only the targeted parts nicely so that we can get most amount of marks in short amount of time, right? Real exam style MCQ. So you have to be familiarized with the OMR sheet because the most time consuming part of any competitive exam is filling the OMR sheet. You have to practice, like take printouts of OMR sheets, blank OMR sheets. You can get that like it's available on the internet. You can just download it and print it down, make some copies of it and practice filling those, like in your home as well. Just for fun, practice giving these examinations in OMR sheet. That's how you'll be more familiarized with the OMR pattern, how to fill it in short durations and confidently, right? Next, you have to identify the exam trends. Which are the main portions or the main parts the questionnaires are coming from. So you have to you don't want new surprises while you are in the exam hall, right? So you have to take these steps so that you know all the corners of your syllabus, all the corners and hidden parts of your chapters, so that nothing is new in your examination and you can be most confident in the room, right? Now that's all. Boost speed and confidence. Yes, obviously you will be trying reading faster, you will be solving faster, you will be analyzing the questions faster if you practice these real exam style MCQs, right? आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो आगे क्या है, ये चैप्टर का ये एक स्क्रीनशॉट ले सकते हो. These are the most important units and from here these are the portions they are asking the questions from, like fundamental unit of life. So these are the same chapter. Class 9th इसलिए बहुत important है क्योंकि क्लास 9th का सिलेबस ही तुम्हारे क्लास 11th में रिपीट होगा सेम टू सेम. थोड़ा एग्जैक्ट, थोड़ा एम्फेसिस होगा, थोड़ा इलैबोरेशंस होंगे, लेकिन यही है ओवरऑल सिलेबस ऑफ स्टैंडर्ड 11th. सो प्लीज स्टडी दीज अच्छे से, बिकॉज अगर फाउंडेशन स्ट्रांग नहीं होगा तो 11th में कॉन्सेप्ट्स सर के ऊपर से जाएंगे. इफ यू वांना ग्रास्प ऑल द कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ बायोलॉजी स्टैंडर्ड 11th, देन प्लीज फोकस ऑन स्टैंडर्ड 9th सिलेबस. फुल यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ पूरा 11th में भी आएगा, यही सेल स्ट्रक्चर, ऑर्गेनल्स. नाउ क्वेश्चंस कैसे आएंगे, हाउ द क्वेश्चंस आर कमिंग, they'll give the structure of structural questions, functional questions and what are the use of these questions, right? जैसे सेल मेम्ब्रेन हो गया, इसका फंक्शन क्या है, कहां होता है, कहां नहीं होता है, डिफ्यूजन, ऑस्मोसिस, ये सब प्रोसेसेस हो जाते हैं, तो पाथवे भी बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. टिश्यूज में आ जाते हैं, इसमें टाइप्स ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स, बोथ टिश्यूज इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यूज, परमानेंट टिश्यूज क्या है, ये परमानेंट टिश्यू और मेरिस्टेमेटिक टिश्यू का डिफरेंस बेस पे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, their functions, their locations, what are their structures, ऐसे questions हम आगे देखेंगे अभी. Animal tissue में epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, nervous tissue, their structures and functions again. तो कहाँ present होता है, किस लिए लगता है, क्या इनका रोल है, ये सब कुछ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है. ऊपर से diversity in living organisms. So classification systems, 5 kingdom classification, criteria for the classification, major plants and animals groups क्या क्या है. So these are the very important parts of the chapter, right? Next, improvement in food resources. There we have like crop variety improvements, farming practices, how we can do betterment, green revolution, white revolution, all those stuff. That is much more important. And also animal husbandry, fishery, apiculture, sericulture. So these names are also important. They sometimes give questions such as what do you call the farming of fishes, like that, right? So you should know all the key terms and key words basically. Let's jump into the questions now so that you can be more familiar with the types of question and we can understand, oh, these are factual questions, these are theoretical questions, these are analytical questions. We can see like that and we can understand how to approach the syllabus so that we can easily tackle the questions, right? So first question, we have the first question here. Which organelle is absent in a prokaryotic cell? So now this is a factual question. This is a fact basically, right? So which organelle is absent in prokaryotic cell, right? So cell membrane, is that absent in prokaryotic cell? Or nucleus, can anyone answer? Which is absent in a prokaryotic cell? Why do we call it prokaryotic cell first? There is the answer hidden in the name itself. Hidden in the name itself. The answer here is hidden in the name itself. Prokaryotic cell. Do you know why? Because the word carrion, right? Carrion. This word here, right here, this means nucleus. This means nucleus, okay? And pro means primitive. Primitive, okay? So primitive or negligible. Negligible. Right? So no true nucleus is present in prokaryotic cells. Pro means primitive, negligible or rudimentary. These are very key terms you can remember. Rudimentary, okay? Rudimentary. Right? So primitive nucleus is present, that's why it's prokaryotic cells. That's why absence of nucleus will be the correct answer. And U, the term U means true, right? True, true. So eukaryotic cells means true nucleus. So nucleus is present in the eukaryotic cells, not in the prokaryotic cells. That's how eukaryotic cells have nucleus, because U means true and karyon means nucleus. So you have heard karyokinesis, it means nuclear division. Cytokinesis means cellular division. Karyokinesis means nuclear division. So primitive karyon or negligible nucleus, therefore absence of nucleus in prokaryotic cells. Got it? Moving forward, right? Moving forward. Next we have, which process moves water across cell membrane without energy use? So here transfer of water is one process. This is point 1 in this question. Then again, without energy is another aspect of this question. Across cell membrane is another aspect of this question, right? So these are three aspects which decide the options. So two cells are there. This is one cell membrane, this is other cell membrane. So the transfer should take place like this, right? So water should be transferred across the cellular membranes, cell 1 to cell 2, right? But energy can't be used here. No ATP can be used here. No ATP can be used here. No ATP, right? No energy can be used. So active transport, the name suggests that ATP is being used because it is active, so it is not an option, because ATP is utilized. ATP is utilized here in active transport. So first option is gaya kaam se, theek hai. Endocytosis means engulfing of food, like taking the food inside of one cell. Like when the amoeba eats its food, we call it endocytosis, because cyto means cell and endo means engulf. So engulfing of elements, engulf. So that is endocytosis. Translocation, this is again not the topic, because translocation is the transfer of food by phloem, right? Phloem, we know this. That's why translocation is again not an option. Only option left is osmosis. Osmosis is the correct option, because in osmosis the water transfers from one end to the other along what? Along concentration gradient. So from higher concentration to lower concentration, high to low, water will be transferred. So water will be transferred from high to low along the concentration gradient. Understood? Along the concentration gradient, water transfers from high to low in osmosis. In reverse osmosis, energy is utilized. There, the water transfer takes place against the concentration gradient, right? Got it? Done. Let's move forward. Okay, let's move forward. Parenchyma cells. See, I have told you that parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So parenchyma cells and their function is being asked. So either you will be asked questions on the basis of structure or on the basis of their function, right? Either function or structure will be asked. So parenchyma cell, what is the function? This is a factual question. Their function is storage. They store food, water and food as well. Water, food, where? In stem or roots, right? They store it. Support, who does the support part? Support part is done by both sclerenchyma and collenchyma. Water conduction, this is done by xylem, and protection, this is again by the cell wall, you can say protection cell wall, or you can say this is also done by collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma is better example because they have lignified what? Dead cell, right? So dead cells will be obviously a better protector than live cells, living cells, right? So cell wall or sclerenchyma, you can say protection. So obviously storage is done by of water and food is done by parenchyma cells, right? And sclerenchyma and collenchyma are for support and strength, right? Moving forward, xylem vessels are made up of, see again, this is a structure based question. Xylem made of, so this is a structure based question. Structure is a question, structure based question, right? So now tell me, xylem cells, they what is the function of xylem? They carry water. So they carry water. So is there any pigment there? They do not prepare food, so they don't need pigments. They do not require pigments, so no. Dividing cells, they are dividing cells. Dividing cells are who? The meristematic cells. So they divide and grow. They grow. They are not the permanent cells. Permanent tissues do not grow, do not divide, but they divide. Who divides? The growing meristematic cells. Dead cells or living cells? Now if they are living cells, more than carrying water, they will consume water. They will consume water. Consume water because living cells required water. So living cells, they cannot be living cells. If they are living cells, they will consume the water. पी जाएंगे पानी, ले नहीं जाएंगे, कैरी नहीं करेंगे, खुद पी लेंगे, राइट? सो डेड सेल्स ऑब्वियसली बात है, होना ही है इनको ताकि ये वाटर कैरी कर पाए विदाउट कंज्यूमिंग इट देमसेल्व्स. सो डेड सेल्स इज द करेक्ट आंसर, राइट? राइट, मूविंग अहेड. मूविंग अहेड, द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चरल एंड फंक्शनल यूनिट ऑफ, ये कोई क्वेश्चन हुआ? ये कोई क्वेश्चन? दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन. Class 1-2 students will answer these questions, right? Tell me, what's the answer of this? कोई बता सकता है? कोई नहीं बता. कोई बताएगा? इसका आंसर है सेल, राइट? सेल इज द यूनिट ऑफ लाइफ. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ जाते हैं, आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. ठीक है, रूट हेयर्स एब्जॉर्ब वाटर्स एंड मिनरल्स बाय व्हाट? रूट हेयर. सो दीज आर द रूट, प्लांट है ये, तो ये रूट है, ये रूट हेयर है, ऐसे ये रूट हेयर है, ये रूट हेयर है. ये पानी एब्जॉर्ब करेगा तो ये सेल बाय सेल एब्जॉर्ब होगा. रूट हेयर में भी सेल बाय सेल ऐसे एब्जॉर्ब होते होते जाएगा पानी, ऐसे जाएगा पानी, राइट? सो ये जो होना है ये कैसे होगा? ये एनर्जी लेगा तो ज्यादा एनर्जी. तुम्हारा आंसर नहीं, और तुमने लिखा सेल लिखा है, हाँ हाँ ठीक है. ये बताओ कौन सा है, ये बताओ जल्दी कौन सा है? ये एक्टिव प्रोसेस तो नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि अगर इतना एनर्जी लगता तो प्लांट तो जिंदा ही नहीं रहता. तो एनर्जी एटीपी नहीं लग सकता इसमें. जो वाटर कंडक्शन होगा, जो पानी इधर से इधर तक जाएगा, वो तो इसके थ्रू नहीं जा सकता ना. जा सकता है कि नहीं जा सकता? बताओ तो क्या होगा आंसर? इसका आंसर बताओ. पानी इधर से इधर तक कैसे जाएगा? टिल द टॉप. फिल्ट्रेशन, कोई फिल्टर तो है नहीं इधर, फिल्टर की कोई जरूरत है नहीं. डिफ्यूजन या ऑस्मोसिस से एक हो सकता है. तुम नहीं बोल पा रहे हो तो इसका आंसर है ऑस्मोसिस. मैंने अभी बोला कि डिफ्यूजन जब होगा ये मेजरली गैसेस में होगा. ठीक है, मेजरली गैसेस में होता है. ऑस्मोसिस जो होता है ये मेजरली लिक्विड में होता है. ठीक है, ये याद रखना. तो ऐसे केसेस में ऑलवेज ऑस्मोसिस होता है, क्योंकि ये कंसंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट के अलोंग जा रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि नीचे 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 सॉइल में पानी ज्यादा है, हाई है वाटर, एंड इधर पानी लो है. तो ये कंसंट्रेशन ग्रेडियंट में ऐसे ही ऊपर चला जाएगा, फ्रॉम हाई टू लो. ठीक है, फ्रॉम हाई टू लो ये ऐसे ही आगे बढ़ जाएगा. आगे चलते हैं. Which cell organism is also called suicide bag? I have covered this multiple times. Suicide bag, factual question, cell organelle. It's a fact, it's a point, it's a key term. So कौन सा होना चाहिए? जल्दी बताओ, जल्दी बताओ। बता सकता है कोई? देखो, न्यूक्लियस तो सुइसाइड बैग नहीं होगा। अगर न्यूक्लियस सुइसाइड बैग होगा तो सेल ही डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगा, क्योंकि उसमें जेनेटिक कोई इंफॉर्मेशन ही नहीं बच रहा, कोई ब्रेन नहीं बच रहा सेल का। तो ये तो नहीं हो सकता। नेवर नेवर अ सुइसाइड बैग। ठीक है। गोल्जी एपरेटस, ये अगर खुद मर जाते हैं तो पैकेजिंग नहीं होगा, पैकेजिंग एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं होगा। पैकेजिंग एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट मतलब ये स्विगी जोमेटो है, ठीक है, एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट अमेजॉन भी कह सकते हो, वैसा कोई बात नहीं है, नहीं होगा। राइट? यस वसुंधरा, 100% करेक्ट। यू आर सेइंग द करेक्ट आंसर, इट्स लाइसोसोम। लाइसोसोम आर कॉल्ड द suicide bags because they have autophagic behavior. They destroy themselves, destroy everything around by spotting the foreign materials that come in, foreign particles जो कि pathogens भी हो सकते हैं, उसको ये सेल में जैसे ही देखते हैं, स्पॉट करते हैं, ये इम्यून सिस्टम की तरह उनको डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए खुद को ऑटोफेजिक बिहेवियर करके डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं, मतलब सेल्फ ईटिंग। इसीलिए इसको सुइसाइड बैग बोला जाता है। ठीक है, लाइसोसोमल फ्लूइड्स ये निकालते हैं, दे रिलीज दैट, सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर कॉल्ड द सुइसाइड बैग। एंड सेंट्रियोल प्ले अ मेजर पार्ट इन सेल्यूलर डिवीजन, सेल डिवीजन। ठीक है, सेल डिवीजन में सेंट्रियोल का पार्ट है। न्यूक्लियस का तो जेनेटिक इंफॉर्मेशन कैरी करने में है, पैकेजिंग एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है गोल्जी एपरेटस, सेंट्रियोल करता है सेल डिवीजन। सो लाइसोसोम का काम है इम्यून सिस्टम, डिफेंस लिख लो। ठीक है, डिफेंस, डिफेंस और इम्यून, इम्यूनिटी। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। Which tissue in plants provides flexibility? Can you answer this? Which tissue in plants provides flexibility? There are parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and xylem. Now, if you think about it, if you think about this question particularly, flexibility cannot be achieved by dead cells because dead cells will be rigid, they will be stiff, right? So xylem has dead cells, right? So it cannot be. Sclerenchyma has lignified dead cells again, dead cells, lignified but dead cells. So these two cannot be the answer because they consist of dead cells and those are lignified as well. तो वो बहुत rigid होंगे, बहुत stiff होंगे, they cannot be flexible enough. Now collenchyma and parenchyma are the two options. Now in parenchyma their major role is storage, their major role is storage, right? And structural support, who provides that? Collenchyma out of these two. So structural anything, any structural activity will be done by collenchyma. So parenchyma is also not the answer. Obviously collenchyma will provide the flexibility, flexibility. ठीक है, flexibility will be provided by collenchyma. Sclerenchyma will be providing structural support, protection, and dead lignified cell will make it strong and protected. Parenchyma will store anything, collenchyma will give the flexibility. Correct? Tissue and their function. So this is again flexibility, a function based question, function based question. ठीक है, function based. Moving ahead, in animal tissues, what is the role of epithelial tissue? Again an animal tissue, and the question asked about the role of it. Role means function, role means function. ठीक है, तो इनका काम क्या होगा? कंडक्शन, स्टोरेज, सेंसेशन और प्रोटेक्शन. टेल मी, who can give me the correct answer here? Tell me the correct answer. Tell me, be quick. In animal tissues, what is the role of the epithelial tissue? Protection, conduction, storage or sensation? Can you answer? No? No? Can anyone answer in the chat? No. So see, sensation, no. Storage, no. Conduction, no. This is done by whom? Nervous system, nerve tissues. Nerve tissues. Protection is the correct answer because they form the lining. They form the lining. All the lumen and the lining of our organs and everything, that is done by the epithelial tissues. So lumen or the outer coating or outer lining of what? Of organs. ठीक है? They are epithelial tissues. So though they provide the lining of the lumen and the outer lining and as well the inner lining. ठीक है? Inner lining, inner और outer lining. जैसे कि esophagus है, इसका भी एक inner lining होगा ना, there should be an inner lining. The organs, they also need a lining, right? The outer surface. So that is the epithelial tissues. So protection is the answer. Correct? Moving ahead. Members of kingdom Monera have true nucleus, lack nucleus, have chlorophyll or are multicellular. Give the correct answer. Can anyone answer? Members of kingdom Monera. Can anyone answer? The correct answer is they lack nucleus because they are prokaryotes. As we discussed, prokaryotes are lacking nucleus. They do not have nucleus. They are very basic. They are very simple cells. They do not possess nucleus. They do not have chlorophyll as well, but they majorly lack nucleus, and that's the correct answer. This is a factual questions of kingdom Monera. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते. This is a factual question, basic fact. Which plant kingdom division includes non-flowering seedless plants? Non-flowering seedless plants. Can you answer? Can anyone answer? See, angiosperms and gymnosperms. These are naked and covered, but they possess flowers. These two possess flowers, right? These two possess flowers. We know that. Flowers. Here also. Flowers. Right? Now the two options remaining are algae and bryophytes. Now, algae is not a plant itself. Algae is not a plant. Not plant. So it is not a part of kingdom plant A. Plant kingdom का हिस्सा ही नहीं है algae. So ये तो पहले strike off कर दो. Algae कोई हिस्सा ही नहीं है. ठीक है? So, left what we have, the bryophytes. They are the non-flowering seedless plants. ये mosses होते हैं इनमें. मतलब जो green mosses दिखते हैं, mosses. These are the bryophytes. दिखते हैं ना mosses green color के, उनमें कोई फूल नहीं होता, flower नहीं होता, green ऐसे moss होता है. तो वो है bryophytes. वो bryophyta में आते हैं. Angiosperms and gymnosperms flowering हैं, flowering plants है, इसमें seed covering, seed naked ये सब systems हैं, but दोनों flowering plants हैं, and algae तो plant ही नहीं है, it's not a part of the plant kingdom. Bryophytes will be the correct answer. Moving ahead, okay? Which process increases crop yield without extra land? See, अगर मेरे पास farmer के पास इतना land है, ठीक है, इतना लैंड है, ये एरिया लैंड है हमारे पास, ठीक है, इतना एरिया है हमारे पास लैंड का, इधर हम खेती कर रहे हैं. अब इसमें से हमें यील्ड मिल रहा है x kg, ठीक है. अभी अगर मैं लैंड इंक्रीज कर दूं, साइज ये बना दूं लैंड का एरिया और जमीन खरीद लूं, तो ये मेरा एरिया बन गया अभी नया लैंड का, ठीक है. ये एरिया बढ़ा तो ये x का स्क्वायर भी हो जाएगा kg. इसका यील्ड इससे डबल हो सकता है, स्क्वायर हो सकता है. एरिया बढ़ जाएगा तो मेरा प्रोडक्ट यील्ड भी ज्यादा हो जाएगा ना. पहले मैं इतने क्रॉप्स ग्रो कर पाता था, ठीक है, अब मैं इतना क्रॉप्स ग्रो कर पाता हूं, ठीक है. तो मेरे पास तो क्रॉप्स भी ज्यादा ग्रो हो जाएंगे इसके अंदर, राइट? तो विदाउट डूइंग दिस आई कैन नॉट डू दिस, आई कैन नॉट डू दिस, आई कैन नॉट इंक्रीज द साइज ऑफ द लैंड. बट इसी एरिया में मुझे अगर इतना इतना यील्ड लाना है तो मैं क्या कर सकता हूं, बताओ. What can I do? What can I do to get the same amount of zyada yield, more yield in the same amount of land area without increasing the land size? क्या process I can apply so that I can get this output in this land itself? Correct? ये है question. अब बताओ मुझे. Can you answer? The correct answer is variety, crop variety improvement. Crop variety means genetically modifying plants, GMO. If I do some variety improvement, what is the meaning of variety? Variety means crops, genetic qualities should be improved, right? Like more yield, more healthy crops, more red tomatoes. So these are the genetic qualities that reflect in the phenotype or the outer appearance of the plant, right? So size of the plant, size of the fruit or the vegetable, that is also a genetic trait reflected in the phenotype or the external appearance. So crop variety improvement means the seed that we are growing, the seed that should be of high quality, high yield quality. So this seed should be high variety, means very good quality seed should be planted and genetically modified so that I can get the optimum output in this amount of land itself. Got it? So the yield will be more because the health of the crops will be better. More production will take place. More producing seed quality should be planted. Not plowing, not irrigation, not fallowing, because these three A, C, D are part of agricultural process. This is a part of agricultural process. This is natural process. In every part we have to do the plowing. Before sowing the seeds we have to do plowing. We have to do fallowing, we have to do irrigation to make the crops grow. This won't increase the yield. This is a natural process. ये तो करना ही है. You have to do it anyway. But crop variety improvement is one feature, one practice that can lead to increase of the plant yield. Okay. The function of ribosome, we have already covered this in a question as Vasundhara has answered already. So the function of lysosome, another question, another way of looking at it is that energy production. No. Who does energy production? Let's study. It is done by mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, we all know. So mitochondria produces energy in the form of ATP. Waste disposal, exactly correct, because they are the suicide bags. They are suicide bags, right? Suicide bags. Correct. Then we have photosynthesis. No, this is done by chloroplast. Chloroplast. Right? Then we have protein synthesis. No, this is done by what? Ribosomes. Ribosomes do protein synthesis. Correct? So waste disposal is done by the lysosomes because they are autophagic suicide bags that protect the cell from waste or external foreign materials or particles, right? Moving ahead. See, I told you in the introduction itself, questions like this from crop improvement, food improvement will be there in the question. Fish farming is called what? Sericulture, pisciculture, apiculture or viticulture. Can you answer? Can you answer this? Can you answer this? We also have horticulture. Horticulture is another way of farming, another type of farming, right? So the correct answer for fish, because fish is also called Pisces. It is also called Pisces, right? The zodiac sign of fish is called Pisces. Pisces is the scientific term for fish. So fishes culture or farming is called pisciculture or pisciculture, whatever you want to call it. So pisciculture is that, correct? You have to study all these cultures before showing up to the exam, because these are the questions they ask multiple times. So farming of fish is known as pisciculture, because Pisces is the term for fish, right? Moving ahead. Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma cells are living at maturity, dead at maturity, nucleated, involved in storage. Now friends, we have discussed that involved in storage is whom? It's parenchyma. Is parenchyma, right? Parenchyma. So obviously sclerenchyma cells are not involved in storage, they are involved in structure. Nucleated or dead at maturity. I already told the answer previously, because they are lignified and dead cells. That's why they provide structural strength and support to the plant, right? So they are dead cells. They are dead at maturity. Along with that, they are lignified. Lignin is present. So they are lignified. That means lignin is present on them. So that's how they provide structural support. Structural support. Right? Because they are dead and lignified. Got it? Moving ahead. Genetic diversity in crops is achieved by what? Now see, genetic diversity means there should be one aspect, that is crossing over of genetic traits. Crossing over of genetic information. There should be exchange of genetic materials, genes, right? Crossing over and exchange of gene is mandatory for genetic diversity. Else, if they are self-fertilizing, self-pollinating, or only one parent is involved in the production process, genetic diversity can't be there, because the parent's genes will be transferred to the offspring, and that's how there is no diversity, no variation, no exchange, no evolution, right? So there must be some kind of crossing over or exchange of gene in to genetic diversity happen, right? So clonal propagation, this means forming of clones. Clones means exact copies. So one parent will be forming two clones. Those will be similar to each other. These two are clones. So there are one parent involved. Therefore clonal activity doesn't have genetic diversity. Clear? Clear. Next we have use of hybrid seeds. Hybrid. The term hybrid means exchange and mixing of two different types of elements or organs or organisms, right? Excess irrigation, ज़्यादा पानी देने से अचानक से कैसे होगा? Excess irrigation does not involve any, has to do anything or has any involvement in genetic information. Genetic involvement ये तो है ही नहीं भैया, तो कोई जेनेटिक इन्वॉल्वमेंट ही नहीं है. सो दिस अगेन कैन नॉट बी द थिंग. फर्टिलाइजर एप्लीकेशन, नो, दिस अगेन हैज नो जेनेटिक इन्वॉल्वमेंट. कोई जेनेटिक इन्वॉल्वमेंट नहीं है. फर्टिलाइजर देने से एंड इरिगेशन करने से दिस टू विल इंप्रूव द प्लांट हेल्थ, improve the growth, the fertile soil, improve the fertile soil, but this does not lead to the genetic crossing. So obviously hybrid seeds will be the correct answer, because these two are the major factor, and hybrid has crossing over of two different organisms, parent organisms, and exchange of genetic information of two different organisms or plants, whatever you call, two different parents basically. So parent 1, parent 2 mixed together to form a new genetic variation, which is the child, which is parent 1 plus parent 2. And cloning has only one parent dividing into two daughter cells, two identical twins which are the identical clones. And फर्टिलाइजर एंड एक्सेस इरिगेशन हैज नथिंग टू डू विद जेनेटिक इंफॉर्मेशन, ये तो बस प्लांट के भलाई के लिए है, ग्रोथ के लिए है, प्लांट के सॉइल के फर्टिलिटी के लिए, इसके साथ जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी का कोई लेना देना नहीं है. ओनली यूज इज हाइब्रिड सीड्स. करेक्ट. मूविंग अहेड. Which or अरे ये तो repeated question है. This question has already been covered twice already. Suicide bags are the lysosomes because lysosomes have, I didn't write it previously, I am writing it now. They are autophagic. They are autophagic. Okay. Autophagic. What do you mean by autophagic? The term auto means self, not auto चलाने वाला auto नहीं, and phagic means eating. So they are self-eating. They do autophagocytosis. That means phagocytosis means cell को खा जाना. Cyto मतलब cell, cyto मतलब cyton मतलब cell, and फैजिक मतलब ईटिंग. तो सेल्फ खुद को खा लेते हैं. तो क्यों? क्योंकि ये खुद के साथ लाइसोसोमल फ्लूइड्स के चलते जो भी फॉरेन वेटी मटेरियल है, वेस्ट्स हैं, उनको साथ डाइजेस्ट कर लेते हैं, इनगल्फ कर लेते हैं, एंड डाइजेस्ट करने के बाद जो फ्लूइड रिलीज करते हैं लाइसोसोमल फ्लूइड, उसके चलते सारे वेस्ट मटेरियल्स डाइजेस्ट हो जाते हैं और खुद भी तबाह कर लेते हैं खुद को. उन सारे वेस्ट को इनगल्फ करके खुद को खा लेते हैं और डिस्ट्रॉय कर देते हैं. दे आर सेल्फ डिस्ट्रक्टिंग सेल ऑर्गेनल्स. राइट. नेक्स्ट. प्लांट क्लासिफिकेशन इज मेनली बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट ऑफ द फॉलोइंग? प्लांट क्लासिफिकेशन, internal anatomy of the plant, external morphology of the plant, or habitat of the plant. Tell me. Internal anatomy, external morphology, or habitat? The correct answer will be external morphology because we see the external features or phenotype or characters like sizes, leaves and everything. So external morphology, outer features and characters को देख के ही, after observing that only, we classify plants into different classifications, right? Categories, not their habitat, not their internal anatomy, because internal anatomy doesn't depend on whether to consider them in basic plants or higher plants or whatever. We need external visual analysis of their characteristics and their features, not internal, because classification के time पे तो वो था भी नहीं internal studies, but even after later words when we are considering two different things, we are considering the external features of plants. ये animals के time पे इतना नहीं होता, उधर internal features भी हम देखते हैं. जैसे crocodile को हम amphibia कहते हैं, amphibian, क्योंकि वो external characteristic देखते हैं, लेकिन उसके पास भी 4 chambered heart and double circulation है. ठीक है. ऐसे करते हैं, ऐसा करना होता है. ठीक है. आगे बढ़ते हैं. The outermost layer of the root is what? Endodermis, cortex, epidermis, pericycle. See, endo, the term endo means internal, so it cannot be. Endo means internal, so it cannot be. Pericycle, no, the answer should be epidermis, because epi means outer and dermis means skin. So epidermal layer is the outer layer, endodermal means the inner layer, and epidermal means the outer layer or covering. So outer covering will always be epidermis. Pericycle, cortex are different segments. That doesn't have to do the dermal or dermis layer. So endodermis, epidermis are for the outer and inner covering of the cell, not cortex nor pericycle. So this is the main thing here we have to study, right? Last question of the day. We are at the last question. Let's solve it and then we will call it a day. Correct? The principle of five kingdom classification was given by. So again, this is a factual question. ये एक fact है, इसमें कोई concept वैसा नहीं है. Five kingdom classification was proposed by whom? That is the question. The option obviously will be Whittaker, not Mendel, not Linnaeus, not Carolus Linnaeus, and not Darwin, because they provided theory of evolution. Gregor Mendel is father of genetics, and he provides the two kingdom initial classification, plants and animals. Five kingdom was done by Whittaker. Whittaker's five kingdom classification. So this is the factual question. So I hope you have covered it. The entire things, how we have seen all the tissues and their structures and how they perform what the few factual, few conceptual, few analytical questions. We have covered all the aspects of it. Please try to fill these up in OMR sheets so that you can be more analytical and more pro thinker and not just रट्टे मार के एग्जाम मत देना, समझ के देना. कैसे मैंने समझाया वैसे समझना है सब क्वेश्चंस को. Now we are at the end of this slide, so don't forget to register for score examination and दोनों एग्जाम्स दे दो. Test 1, Test 2, please show up to both the exams and see where you actually stand in this entire students league. And इसके चलते हुए तुम्हें पता चल जाएगा कितनी प्रिपरेशन और करनी है, कितना और भी बाकी है प्रिपरेशन करना. एंड सबसे अच्छा पर्क इसका यही है कि तुम्हें श्री चैतन्य जैसे एक एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट से अपना फ्यूचर पेव करने का मौका मिल रहा है. बिकॉज वी एट श्री चैतन्य वी पेव द स्टूडेंट्स वे, स्टूडेंट्स लाइक यू, जीनियसेस लाइक यू, your ways to your dream colleges and dream careers. So please show up to this exam and prove yourself and get good marks and get the 100% scholarship as well, or any scholarship according to your merit. ऊपर से नासा जाने का मौका मिल रहा है, क्यों छोड़ना भाई, नासा जाना तो सबको है. तो लाइक करो, शेयर करो, सब्सक्राइब करो और मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय.